Hello and welcome to another video. If you're new here, I'm Scar and I'm a part-time illustrator. I usually make art vlogs, but today I wanted to share a little bit of this process behind a Christmas present that I made. It's for my partner's sister and it's of her two dogs, Arya and Arlo. At the beginning here, I'm showing how loose this canvas is right out of the package and showing you guys how I fixed it. I don't normally work with canvases, I prefer to work on wood, but I figured since I haven't used this canvas in a really long time, I might as well use it now and try this technique that I found online. You could go the route of unstapling and redoing the canvas completely, but it's honestly unnecessary when there's a much simpler option of just wetting the back of the canvas and letting it dry. It's also much easier if you have a misting spray bottle, but I don't currently, so I'm just using a wide brush to apply it, and I'm getting it underneath the wooden frame. But I also applied a little bit of water to the front side on the frame, so that way the edges would be nice and tight as well. You can see when I show you the final dry canvas that a lot of those creases and the dent that was on the side there, it's almost completely gone, and as I paint on it, you won't be able to see those at all, really. And speaking of painting, next is priming the canvas. So most canvases come pre-gessoed, but I always like to add my own layer of gesso as well because it helps with the texture of the canvas and making sure that your paints have something to adhere to. I know some people like to sand down the canvas itself before they do this, but I honestly don't find it necessary in most cases. There's also many types of gesso, but I used the white one from Liquitex today, and it's a matte finish. Also, if you don't plan on painting the edges of the canvas, which I do recommend that you paint the edges because it makes it feel more finished and like professional in a way, you can skip putting gesso on the edges if you don't want to though. From there, I start sketching. I normally choose a Prismacolor erase pencil or standard colored pencil just to sketch out the basic shapes. Most of this will get lost underneath the painting, so it doesn't really matter if you mess up and you can't erase parts. As long as you can see where you're trying to paint, it shouldn't matter. And because of the gesso layer, it helps a lot making the sketching more visible than if I drew directly onto the plain canvas. I am going to be using Himi Miya gouache paints today. I'm not sponsored in any way, and I bought these with my own money, but I do really enjoy their paints for how inexpensive they are, and I have repurchased them a couple times. The first portrait that I did was of Arya, and it was a bit of a test run, to be honest, because I don't draw or paint dogs often. I tend to struggle with their proportions and how to approach color blocking the fur and everything. It's, for some reason, more difficult than drawing a cat for me. So you are going to see a difference in approach when I start painting the light layers with Arya and kind of like work my way up to the small details and stuff. And the way that I color blocked more confidently with Arlo, the second portrait. And I shaped his features first rather than starting with light layers and building them up. But regardless, I think for never really painting dogs on like a consistent basis, or at all really, this was fairly successful, and I learned a lot along the way and how to like approach future pet portraits if I ever do some. And on the topic of changes I would like to make, I definitely was not a fan of how the background was looking. I eventually got it to a decent place, but I think the color choice could have been much better. I originally wanted to do my partner's sister's favorite color, and she said it was forest green, so that's what I started out with, but I just feel like the color was not working with the colors that were used with painting the dogs. It just felt off for some reason, and I couldn't get it to a place where I really liked it. And then it started getting patchy because I was overworking it, and like with gouache, you tend to pick up paint if you overwork a section too much, so I was getting kind of frustrated, to be honest. And the green just felt wrong, so I ended up slightly lightening the color and adding some texture to help with any patchiness, and I added some extra elements like little stars and stuff around the side to like kind of distract it a little bit. I think it turned out okay. Personally, if I had more time to work on this piece, I mean, as you can see from the notes that I put on the screen, it did take me a few days to paint it, so It was getting a little too close to Christmas for me to like redo the background, but if I had the time, I would have cleaned up the background a bit and chosen like a different shade of green or like a different color in general, honestly. But overall, I think it still works pretty well, and I can only hope that she likes it. Oh my goodness. I apologize if you can hear my cats purring. They both wanted to sit on my lap while I record this, so. A little bit of kitty ASMR for you. As I was saying, I hope she likes it. I'm trying to do more handmade gifts, and next year I definitely want to do more stuff like this, mostly because it's more affordable. And I also feel like it's more personalized and like it means a little bit more, you know? I did also recently share in a vlog that I painted like a handmade ornament. Well, I didn't hand like cut the wood or anything. I bought that pre-made, but I painted a little gingerbread man on it, and I will leave a link to it somewhere if you guys want to check it out. But yeah, for sure, definitely next year I want to try and do more stuff like that. And I believe there's a little bit more of this painting to be done before we get to the end of this video and like my process on sealing the painting. So I'm going to let you guys kind of watch for a little bit, and I will check back in with you when we seal it. As for completing the painting itself, I always make sure to add a few light layers of acrylic UV blocking spray, and that's before sealing paintings with like a liquid varnish, especially since I'm using gouache. I don't want it to smudge when I like spread the liquid varnish across it, so I always use a spray varnish first. And I have heard of artists using wax before to do the same, but I've just never tried it myself. I'm a little too nervous to try it, so maybe one day, maybe. But for now, the spray works really well, so I don't plan on changing my approach anytime soon. And I also chose to add a hanging bracket at the back of it, and then I added my wax seal and a sticker just because. And then it was time to finally wrap it up in some tissue paper before I got out the wrapping paper. And that was pretty much it. I just added some twine and a cute sticker, and now it is ready for Christmas, which is in 2 days, I want to say, right? Yeah, when I'm recording this, it's in 2 days. So this video will be going up after Christmas. But regardless, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope that I was informative enough on my process. I know there's probably a lot of things that I missed, so if you guys have any questions, or if you see something that I haven't addressed and you want answers on, go ahead and comment, and I will try and answer them to the best of my ability. I hope this video helped you if you're interested in trying canvas painting. I can also do kind of like my prepping process for wood panels too, if you guys are interested. As always, thank you so much for being here. I hope your holidays were happy and safe, and that you stay safe into the new year. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.